see if I could, not that I don't want to see you guys, but I need to see what I wrote here. Okay, great. So just her basic bio, she was born in 1900. She called herself a century person because she pretty much took up most of the century. And, she was a figurative painter, which is a very difficult thing at this time, by the way, because if you think about during the year, during the century, well, we end up with conceptual work, right? Environmental work, etc. But anyway, to go back to her origin, she was born in, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this, Marion Square, Pennsylvania. Apparently, formerly a very small podunk kind of a place. I don't know, am I allowed to say that? I'm sure it was a lovely, lovely town. She found it very boring, and her family, they were lower middle class family. Okay, so there wasn't a lot of money. And in fact, her mother said to her, so obviously at this time, there weren't many opportunities for women. And her mother said to her, I don't know what you expect to do in this world. You're only a girl. Okay. How she ended up to be such a strong personality, I really don't know, but she was a rebel. Who said that? Yes, exactly. She was a rebel, no question about it. So she manages to get herself actually into college, which was a big deal for someone of her class, and ends up meeting her husband, Carlos Enriquez, who is Cuban and comes from a very wealthy family in Cuba. Okay. And they're both artists. He's an artist also. He himself goes on to be apparently the most famous Cuban artist. I didn't know that. And they moved to Cuba. They live there for 8 months. They live in a mansion with his family, quite a change of lifestyle for her. And they have 7 servants. So she says they have a Juliet balcony. So it's quite a change for her, right? And then she gets pregnant. Okay, so they decide they want to be part of the New York art scene, and they move back to New York, and now they're poor. Okay, I suppose I'm just guessing here that Carlos's parents did not want to support this alternative lifestyle, right? So they're living in a cold water flat, right? And it is cold in every way. And the baby is born. The baby's name is Santillana, and she comes down with diphtheria and dies before her first birthday. Okay. Tremendous tragedy, and really affected her work and her life for the rest of her life, of course, And she blamed herself. She felt that she had contracted a cold of some type, that if they had, prepared better or had a better, had more money, whatever, this child would not have died. So that was really difficult. Okay, so not surprisingly, and this happens with women often, she decided to get pregnant again as soon as possible. She felt emotionally this was the only way out, her only way to survive, right? And she has another child. And before that child's second birthday, Carlos says, he's going to take the baby back to Cuba. She hasn't been there before because his family had not met the baby. This was Isabetta. And well, it turns out he absconds with the baby. He had no plans to come back. I mean, you can't imagine, right? What a tragedy this is. She's lost 2 children now, right? And she becomes so depressed that she ends up she tries to commit suicide a couple of different times, once putting her head in an oven. And I mean, really very dramatic. And because after all, what resources does she have? She has no money. She's a woman. It's very difficult. And she ends up in an asylum for some time, right? And after that, she goes for months. She ends up with her parents again. So, needless to say, she's had her share of tragedy. Okay, so let me see something here.
Like the 30s, right?
Yes, 20s, actually starting the 20s. I think she's 27 when she has the first, because she's born in 1900. She's 27 when she has the first child. So yes. So, but I do want to tell you that I met her once. She had a retrospective at the Gray Art Gallery at NYU. And what a character this woman was. I cannot tell you. she was walking around like a queen, ordering everyone here, there, and everywhere. It was really, I'll never forget it. She was something else. And this is a portrait that she did of herself in her 80th decade. Um, um, such boldness, right? Okay, so okay, okay. So this is these experiences with the children obviously really colored her art for the rest of her life, right? I mean, she painted men also, but a big focus was women with children. And particularly she has a beautiful series of pregnant women. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to show the pictures, to tell you the truth. So just look them up, okay? So this is the Well Baby Clinic. And so this is where, poor people, lower class people gave birth. Um, and, does it look at something like an asylum? Okay, which is what she's trying to get across, right? She ended up, because she was a Marxist, she was a communist, right? She ended up having connections to a lot of the social service agencies that were going on. This was the New Deal, Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal, right? And they were out to help people. So, but I remember reading that this woman was living with her 7 children under a car that was lifted up a bit. I mean, it's really inconceivable, right? So, and you could see the colors, the colors are very somber for her, right? Although there's obviously blood red in there also. Okay. So, pretty dramatic. Okay, so let's see. Okay.
Finally, I'm cute.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, sorry. Yes, finally we're getting too cute. But I mean, what do you think? Who wants to speak about,
She looks worried.
she looks worried, doesn't she? I mean, my God, she's literally holding on to this child. Don't take it away from me, having already lost 2 children. Um, yeah. Speak, people at home, whoever would like to say
Looks
something.
just, and the baby doesn't look too calm either.
No, but it's true. The baby looks a little bit alarmed. And if you look at, so you guys at home can't see me do that maybe, but there's a lot of diagonals. There's a lot of, like, the lines are a little bit jittery in a way, right? This is not a relaxing picture to look at, right? Oh, I love her eyes.
Like they see something.
Very remorseful.
She looks remorseful. Okay, good. Anything else?
And they're looking at somebody.
They're looking at some, yeah, they're
Or
looking
something.
very good, Esty. There is a threat. In a way, the viewer is the threat. Exactly. Really good, Esty. I didn't think of it that way. Because this is the thing it's funny, I was just going to say, you have to look in her paintings. Is the person looking at you, or where are they looking? Because the eyes are all important, and that'll even get more obvious soon. Let's see.
Be like sideways on the chair
I'm sorry.
too.
She's sitting, so let's go back. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, she's not.
Yeah, like edge the front.
It's funny because at work we had a presenter yesterday, and she was saying that when you're talking to people, your feet should be facing them. Otherwise, you give the wrong impression. I mean, I can't really worry about my feet, but anyway, yes, that is interesting. She's really turned away.
It's the size of her legs. We're looking at her legs.
Yeah.
This pose is a very protective pose of her
Mhm.
baby.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Okay, so let's see. Also, I would say, have you all done what do you call it? I can't believe I can think of the word. Contour line drawing. You've all done contour line drawing, certainly with Liz, right? And I think her work is really related to that process very much. You feel like she's not always really looking at the canvas so much, but in contour line drawing, how you're,
Oh, you need one?
it could be blind. It could be blind. It doesn't have to be. It could be half blind, believe it or not, that you stop your pencil and you look up and then you look down again, and you start going again, or the other way around, actually. But the thing about contour line drawing is that you get very accurate things in very distorted ways, because you're really, really looking. And I think her work really, really reminds me of that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So she did have 2 other children. Okay. 2 boys, as a matter of fact. This is Richard. And Richard, well, her comment with her sons is that her sons ended up going to, she got them into Rudolf Steiner school. I don't know how she did this with no money, but she was a force. Okay. She really had no money. They went to Columbia University. One ended up in business. This is the corporate son. And the other ended up being a doctor, believe it or not. Okay. Which is amazing given. Okay. Could you turn over the sound? Thank you. So this is a comment on that she felt that young men of his generation, Richard's generation, were unfortunately stuck in the era of the corporation, that corporate America stole these young men and their souls, and that there was no culture there, no culture as she saw it. But what's interesting, it's kind of interesting because remember the period when it seemed at all the say hippies children were turning conservative, right? They were going.
Mad Men?
I'm sorry.
Like the show Mad Men?
This is later, actually, a little bit, but it started then. That's true. That's a good point, actually. But what happened? Think about it, these children grew up in poverty. They really had. What happened was also, I should say, she was part of the WPA, right? Which is what part of the New Deal, where this is where artists could work for. I can't remember what it stands for. Workers. I don't remember what it stands for. WPA. So
Works program.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Margot. Work Progress Administration. Okay, very good. Thank you. So it employed artists. I mean, many artists, and she was actually involved in it for over 5 years, and then she really went on relief afterwards. So she was on welfare after that. Okay. So what happened is he's really suffered from malnutrition, and it affected his vision, and that's why his eyes look so strange that he couldn't even see well. And the other thing is that she was really an interesting person. I mean, she was very free sexually, let's just say. She had a lot of men, And now if she was a man, maybe we wouldn't even mention that. But it's still kind of interesting because, just given her time that she did this, right? So her two sons are born a year apart. They have different fathers. She and Carlos never actually divorced. But unfortunately, this guy was Sam Brody, who was a communist intellectual, and he was the father of not the father of this one, the father of Hartley, the next child, and he abused him something terrible. I mean, he broke his collarbone. I mean, it was really, really an abusive environment. And even though both of the sons were devoted to her in the end, really there was some resentment, of course, because why didn't she leave this man? But she was financially dependent on him at that point. So that was part of it. So we're doing a whole study of her life here. So, okay. Now, I just wanted to speak about this formally. So who wants to say something about this? Heather, say something about this drawing. Oh, you don't have to.
The hand.
Yeah.
Bigger.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. Yes.
Like your car.
It looks like a character. Yes, definitely. Yes. I mean, as we know, what was that? Oh, caricature.
Is it self-portrait?
It's no. I don't know who it is actually. I don't think we do know who it is. But it is very interesting because, if you want to take a picture of someone, if you want an image, then you take a picture. This is really what art is about, isn't it? Her head is as big practically as the rest of the body, right? So you know what to focus on. The hands, Heather pointed out the hands, which I love because, if you think about, the woman does not look, would you agree, happy? No. I mean, she has bags under her eyes, right? Her face, her mouth is downturned, right? She's got troubles, right?
Let's go back to that.
She wants to go back to bed. Well, that is probably the nicest way to think of it. Yes, exactly. But her hand, it's ineffectual, right? She can't really change things. She doesn't have the ability to really change her life or fix things right because her hands are so small. I mean, it's just a good example of what she's going for. Because here's the thing: if you look at Alice's work, it's kind of interesting because these are portraits of other people, but are they not portraits of her? I mean, they're so identifiable, you know. So there's no question. You're seeing through her eyes, no question about it. Okay. This one I love because the diagonal, it's an interesting diagonal. What's in the foreground, not the person, but the side of a chair, I suppose. Can't even really make it out, the strange chair. Also, the textures are wonderful. I was looking around here. Unfortunately, we don't have, if you have something that you can make that's textural in your bags or something, do you know what frottage is? Frotttage, where you rub, it's like a rubbing, right? Because I think she actually does that quite a bit. Look at the texture on the lower part there of what she's wearing. And look at how wonderful it is where she's just outlined the foot and the heel. She's using a lot of contrast, right? Okay, so let's see. Okay.
He looks
I-
very French.
He looks very French with the striped shirt, yes. I'm sure Susan likes this guy. But I just wanted to show you this because you could see that she's always using line. She does line more than really painting in a way, right? She's painting with line. Okay, so let's just get here. And this is Hartley. This is the other son. Okay,
The doctor.
the doctor, yes. He looks very confident, doesn't he? And, again, think of the angle. She's using diagonals so much in her work, okay? And she doesn't finish them. From our point of view, it's unfinished, but it gives it this kind of immediate, momentary kind of a feeling, right? I love that painting.
I like the way that she created the negative space.
Exactly. Thank you, Robert. I meant to mention that tons of negative and positive space. I mean, that she has the angles here, okay. So,
This reminds me
Oh,
very
sorry.
much of like a Mary Beth Kids.
okay, I don't know Mary Beth McKenzie. Anyone know who this is? This is this is her most famous painting, actually.
Andy Warhol.
Thank
Right.
you. Was that
Yeah.
Susan? Yes, thank you, Susan. Andy Warhol. Does anyone remember? I think you're mostly old enough to remember when Andy Warhol was shot by Valerie Solanas. Okay, and I mean, it changed the rest of his life. It's how would you describe how he looks here?
Wow.
Looks like he's thinking.
He looks like he's thinking. He looks like he's thinking. That's interesting. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And look at the shoes. Does anyone remember how it's Andy Warhol, right? How Andy Warhol started his career? Yes, shoes. He worked for
a shoe
Miller.
designer. Yeah.
What was that?
He was a shoe designer.
The shoe designer, exactly. So look at how carefully she does the shoes, right? Shoe illustrator. Absolutely. Yes, he would do the profiles and they were very fancy. Exactly, with the ink. True. Well, there's a vulnerability to it, I think, that's pretty remarkable, and that he would actually allow himself to be seen that way. Okay, let's see what we have. Not too many left. Let's see. Kate Millett. No, Kate Millett, who's a feminist writer. Kate Millett. It looks like Millet, but it's Millett. Again, look at the eyes. I mean, her face, she's practically jumping off of the page, right? Okay, go a little faster here. Diagonals. Oh my goodness, right? Positive and negative. I mean, she's basically created a square with his arms. Not an easy pose. Don't worry, John. We won't have you do that. So, oh, and I just put in Picasso because I see a real similarity, that the person has, in a way, the artist has possessed the sitter. Then another person worked with lines, Kathy Kollwitz. I mean, the hands. I mean, all these lines around the lower part of the face. I mean, what can you say?
Etching.
A lot of etching. It looks like etching. What's his name? Giacometti, another person who worked with lines, right? Fills up the space, and then because this popped up, I mean, what could you say? Da Vinci, which by the way is not a correct drawing. Does anybody see what's wrong with that drawing? Not to criticize Da Vinci, but you have, what you have to understand is when he did this, and this is with a silver point pencil, right? You can't erase, right? So it's a brilliant thing. But the forehead, look at the eye.
The eyes
This-
are weird.
Yes, the eyes are weird because this is the very beginning of people doing a 3/4 profile. Everyone either did profile or full frontal, face. And so he's not quite clear on the eyes there, but I would take it anyway. Okay. You like the eyes? Well, it's more meaningful, maybe. It's more meaningful. Okay. And just to show you again, remember I mentioned frottage. You could see that I think she must have something underneath parts of this, to get different textures. Okay. So I was just going to do a quick demo, if that's okay with you, and then we'll get started. I'll leave this on. Okay. Only because I
Oh. That's good. Yeah. You don't have to, but if you want to get up, or maybe you could see me. Could you do more at an angle? Think that. Let's look at the woman now, something like that. Watch for a moment. Okay, this is a free country. Absolutely. Okay. Well, yeah, the only thing is, don't talk. Only thing I ask, we're not ready to talk. Yeah. Okay, so it's just that I just want you to think about positive and negative states, which is interesting what our model mentioned. So I'm looking on the side here. I've got that state. Then I'm looking over here. Oh, not that I can. Oh, I did that. That's the first time it's showing this on this. How would you start random for this? Well, if we can't do it, it's okay. It's just,
Okay,
I just, what would be nice if people think about the rectangle, right? And make sure that you're really in a way drawing the negative space first. You know, because remember, we're not going for accuracy, right? We're going for a feeling, we're trying to lay this person down on the paper, so to speak. Okay. It's not about accuracy, it's not. Now, maybe John, maybe not so, put the profile on the side. Too late to move. Okay. Could you go a little bit more diagonally? Because otherwise these people are your profile. So maybe we could place a little bit more. Is that okay? Good. Perfect. Thank you. It's all right. They're all experienced artists. I'm perfectly fine. Just think in terms of texture and, you know, in shape, positive and negative space. And I would walk around.
so people at home will be able to see, did you finish your demonstration?
Oh,
Did you finish your demonstration? Okay,
I guess
what
we'll
I
just
can-
skip it. Please.
well, you don't have to.
All right, I'll just be drawing while you.
This is what people can see at home right now.
That's
Okay?
great.
So if you don't want that, then we can just zoom in on him.
Oh, but they need to see him.
Yeah.
If they're only seeing this, let's have them see him. Sure.
So this is where you would be.
Okay,
If you're
so
done with the demonstration,
Can we focus on John?
yes. You want to stay there, you can see what we'll be able to do. I'll move the camera back to him.
Okay, great, thank you.
And they can hear you. Louder if you want.
Yeah.
So if you go onto your screen, you can see it. You can see it.
Oh, that's great. You look great, John. Very nice. I love the I'm glad you wore patterned pants. Except he's on my screen anyway, he's losing his feet. Laura? On my screen, he's sunk down, so he's losing his feet. I guess the camera just moved a little bit. Okay, can you
like Alex Neal did, try to pay attention to the face and the hands. You know, and don't worry about the hands, if you really just pay attention to them and look carefully, you'll end up much better than you think. Okay. I'll stop that. But you're going for interesting.
Yes, yes, you can say God.
I can say guy?
Yes. Yes. We had a discussion about that. You can only say guys when it's all women. Well, you can say it from a group, but you can say you guys and it's all women, it's okay.
I could split it work, you know, there's a woman I'm working with who's a woman, I'm sorry. They, them.
They, them.
Stop, God.
First of all, it's not the consensus with it. So we usually say that for every, folks. Patrons. In the world.
It's partially appreciated.
I'm not offended by God. I'm not either.
I don't know, because I meant this person said, well, it's dying, she's the one who did it.
So to say, there's a library meeting, every one of your friends.
Well, so I just wanted, if I could be so rude as to stand in front of John for a second. I just wanted to, you know, just to give you an idea of how you sketch something in. You know, just blocking things out, using diagonals if you can. You know, diagonals are much more exciting than straight lines, perpendicular lines, up and down lines, right? Anyway, just wanted to do that. Okay.
So someone could sit where I was in. Over here? Are you done there, Dean? Yes.
You can move that, Laura.
One thing that we're actually doing many of them. That's like, like it's series of, poses in a way, and they're still doing it. We need to loosen up a little bit, right? Right. And if you wish, at some point, we can switch to another pose. No, we've got plenty of time, don't worry. Plenty of time. At the end of it, I would switch. Yeah, you can just keep doing it over and over again in different ways, right? Because we do our hands and our eyes, we loosen up a little bit. Are you okay with that? Yes, I just. Great talk too, but maybe like a nice thick line. If you want to use it. I mean, Eileen brings up that, she's growing very large, and if anyone thinks that when you're in kindergarten or younger kids, when I taught children, they do a little tiny figure in the corner of the page, right? And so I always have to tell them, whatever you do, I have to touch all four cells. Just think big. It works sometimes. I try. So we better not big radar.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which medium I want to do.
That's just the way I'm figuring it out. Yeah, so I feel more secure.
Hey, everybody. Courtney's dog is drawing, apparently. Okay. Can I see what anybody's doing? How about, hey, Dina, my namesake. How are
How are
you?
you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Can I see what you're doing? Do you mind? I mean, it's up to you.
Well, it's just a beginning, but I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, it's sort of just white here.
Oh, you know what? I've got the background set on blur.
Yes, it was blurry and white.
Yeah, it's true. Hang on. Boom. Background. None. Here we go. Okay. This is what I've got so far.
Okay.
Whoops.
Nice. Try to stay still. Oh, it's
Okay.
really nice. Very nice.
It's coming
like-
along. It's coming along.
Yeah, I like how you're really dealing in shapes. Really very nice. Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
To be fair, let's go to Margot now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm working on something completely different, but
Oh, okay.
backgrounds, creating backgrounds.
And you're working vertically with watercolor. Is that true? Am I looking at that correctly?
It's
You're
horizontal.
It's horizontal. No, but I mean, the surface you're working on is flat right now?
It was,
Oh, okay. Nice. Gosh, you're really good with wet on wet. Excellent. I love that.
my first attempt, but
Then you're a natural. Okay, Alice, I guess you're. Hi, Alice. I guess your video's not there. Alice, let's see. Let's see. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, wait a second. I'm between Margot and Alice right now. Let me look at Margot. Hold on a second. Alice, I'm sorry. Oh, beautiful. You're working from a photograph. Or do you have an elephant in your home? No.
I
Okay.
did. I
No.
I don't have
Very nice. Very, very nice. I love that. That's not easy to do. That is not easy.
Yeah, I had to look at a different reference photo when I finished it. So, but
You're blending beautifully with the watercolor. So really,
thank
really
you.
nice. Okay. Okay. Poor Alice's arm's going to get. Hey, Alice, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh my God. Oh, you're also. Oh, wow. That's really
Oh.
nice.
Oh,
Excellent. And I love the way he's darker. His shirt is darker and it makes, the baby pop out more. Really nice. Is that
Yeah.
someone you know?
Yeah, it's my brother-in-law and his grandchild
Oh, lovely.
reading a book together.
Wonderful.
So it was one that I started last night, so I didn't want to stop,
You only started
So
it
I
last
thought
night?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Amazing. Very nice. And oh, and Susan. There's Susan who's working hard as always. Let's see.
Unmute yourself, Susan.
Not, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Of course, I didn't do the face yet.
Yes, yeah, very nice. I
Or
like
the
the way you
hair.
block the shoulders and the torso, really good. Yeah.
Mhm.
I know you're an artist, so I can't really tell you too much, but you wait until the last moment to do the face. Is that what you do? Kind of an interesting approach. Because I always do a little bit all over, so I don't commit myself.
Ah, yeah.
And I'm working with it, so to speak, just my way. It's all.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna get to the face now.
Okay, all right, good work. Now, who is E? Does anybody know who E is? Okay, we have E and Courtney who are not really here, but that's okay. I guess they will present themselves when they wish. Okay, great. Change your mind? Change your mind? Doing that, guys. I mean. A little bit fast, though. I don't want it too much.
Yeah. Oh, I know. No, no.
Also cheats. Children perspective.
If anyone was born the Bronx. Okay. Is it name of the author? It just came in. It's incredible. And me, when we went to journalist, and he stops here and he goes to something. And for me, and I've been talking about it. It's just really, that's it. It's a street. Yeah, from the I just found it from here. It's a very it's just, you know, that's why we yes. Really, quite a novel. It's true. Yeah. Well, it talks about Peter Stuyvesant. He wasn't very nice. Body, everybody wasn't. I just sorted it. Oh, I shouldn't care that much. Feeling not going for active.
It doesn't bother me at all. It's twisted. The arm is out here. There was supposed to be. Model on one of the first. Yes.
When I model, I go deep.
Yeah.
And I'm not conscious of. Would you like me to resume the same pose?
We'll see. We'll take a survey. Okay, don't be so much on it. Go great. We're done. We're putting in that way. So, here's a suggestion. We all go around and look at each other's work here. I don't know what to do with people at home, but I get to continue working if it's okay. So, I mean, if you don't want to get up, it's okay, but how about we get up and look at each other's work? No? Can we have a show of hands? Yes or no?
Yes.
No. No?
You have a model.
On the table. Because you're shy?
I missed that. What is that?
I was saying that maybe we could get up and all look at each other's work.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Not okay?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I think,
If you still want to work though. It's okay.
No,
It's off the org.
that's fine.
Some great interesting things. I want you guys to see them all.
Yeah, that's really better.
No, I'm not good. A lot of people are doing the small hand that Alex Neal does. So interesting. Very interesting, yeah. Go back to
So it looks like you guys are taking a break too, right?
Yeah, now I start to sign. This thing I was doing. Yeah. You go to do it? No. Yeah, but walking for more. Every time makes people start to feel about it doing.
Oh, do you like it?
Oh, I like. This is all of it. They're coming here and so the 90 yoga last week is finished.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. And I started January.
I know because we get exercise before we're eating.
Yeah, so close. Very careful, yeah.
I'm glad we might meet.
I know, I know. Yeah, but I like yoga and everything. Not too much knowledge.
Oh, that far?
My, then I said, well, I'm gonna
Coming back.
Diana.
I don't think he has a hand. No one's perfect. They want ready.
It sounds good.
Oh, that's a timer. John, that's for you, actually. Okay, are you ready to close again? Is that okay?
Yes, would you like to sing closer?
What's that?
Because I have a post right here around.
Okay.
Question, everyone, friends. So shall we move to another pose? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see what you've got, John. That good? What do you think? Responses, we can change it.
Yes, I love
Is that okay?
Standing something without the,
Without
the schmuck.
But you know, the schmata and the chair are actually Alex Neal.
Oh, okay.
It's schmata. Schmata is the table
They're all
cloth.
around.
But maybe a different chair pose.
It's in a drawer.
Guys, anyone want to raise their hand and tribute to this pose? Any opinions aside from schmata?
You can see the diagonal.
Right?
Yes, fellows.
Anything is okay.
Oh, the tablecloth.
Pretty good, okay, great, next, 20 minutes, okay. Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, let's see what happens at 20. I don't want to torture you. Oh, here. I hear strange sounds. Okay, so everyone at home, we've started again.
Okay,
Never back from your breaks, okay. Okay, I think Susan had to go. I think Susan had a doctor's appointment. So, okay, all right.
I was wondering, because I spent a year only drawing with my mom.
Oh, just.
You can both sides of your know that Alice Neal's apartment, she died in the 80s, and it's exactly as she left it, even with the teacup, with the dried up tea in the cup and the. Where's that? It's, I think it's on the, it's Spanish Harlem.
You can go there and see all that?
Not really, it's just that the family left it that way, and they sort of keep it that way, which I'm wondering if it's a rent control apartment. You know? He did end up making some money later in life, as you say. He wasn't for the whole time.
Did you see the exhibition of
On her exhibition. Also, years ago, I can't remember the name of the gallery. On 57, it was all the pregnant paintings, pregnancy paintings, which were really kind of revolutionary when you think about it and what she did.
Didn't she live in a very small apartment that she maybe really, she thinks it's kind of large?
Well, yeah, it's filled with her paintings. But I mentioned that the daughter who her husband took to Cuba, she only saw her twice more. So she only was around the daughter 3 times in her life, basically. Very sad. And the daughter ended up committing suicide when she was 54. And I read one report that said that every once in a while the daughter would try to contact her and she wasn't responsive. But you don't really know how true these things are.
Go for you here or in Cuba?
Cuba. She was brought up by her parents. also read, so she couldn't afford a refrigerator for a very long time, so they had an ice box. And they weren't supposed to have a telephone and TV. So because when you're on welfare, you know, they would come and check, so they'd have to hide it. And one time she was reported because she took Richard to a concert and required money. She was reported for that. Well, the other thing that was interesting, I thought, was that she disavowed feminism. She's a very cranky person, you know, and but her, you know, her career took a, well, it went quiet, let's say, for a very long time because, you know, she's doing realistic work, you know, she's doing figurative work, and that's not happening. And then it was really the feminists who brought it back. Well, we think of the Gorilla Girls, for instance, right? We've got women, anonymous women who really changed the art world forever, and they're still going. You know, they complained, they protested in front of the modern art about half a percent or something, or percent of the people in the museum collection were women, and in fact, they protested on her behalf. So it really benefited from her. And then in the end, she ended up with a retrospective of the Liz as a result of all the protest movements by the feminists. So I think she just liked to complain.
Artists who had a perfect family life.
Well, how many people have a perfect family life? Like those people.
Perfect, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And tragedy, not your, no,
Tragedy.
the rejection of.
Shows you how healthy and how healthy all of them are, you know? So you guys are all very normal. You guys are just kind of awesome.
Not really well.
You know, just because you don't have experience. Yeah. I mean, you know, how many hours do you have to do something to become an master? You know, thousands of hours or so. You keep doing it. Oh, thank you for the computer again. Yeah. In the life thing, you know, because it's going to help you with bone structure, the nose. But then you know where the nose. Put the eyes in first. Something happens when you get sick or something. Yeah, something happens. Well, that's right. It's an accident. Oh, really?
We got 3rd-degree burn on state back in 22. I think that's why you went out of the.
Remember when he first did, when he used to sub for Johnny Carson, he was great, very political. And then he took over, and it was allowed to be less and less political.
Yeah.
And now he can be very political.
his garage on his cars and gasoline or something.
Yes.
Working on his car when an accident occurred, getting surgery from him.
I did not know that.
Baseball gas or junk.
Did you went into hibernation?
Sure. Yeah, and then his wife has dementia. Okay. Apparently he's had a show, Jay Leno's Garage. This is from the
I love his tracing it down. Just keep going, then you just want, you'll just keep listening up. Anybody at home want to share what they're doing? Seven and a half minutes for this post. How are you doing, John?
Good.
Okay. Everyone feels so different, you know.
very true. Anybody wants color, you know, they'll arbitrate on. Like the color, although. Some are. You can color.
They're gonna take this.
Pictures?
Or they should be able to hear you now.
Okay. Let's see. So how do I get to see them? Let's do some quick gesture drawings. How about that, guys?
Yes.
Okay? Yes? What do you need? Oh, more paper.
They can hear you now.
Okay,
Ask them if they can-
great. Hi, Dina, Margot, Alice,
Yes,
hear us?
completely, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, great. We're doing, as you can see, we're going to do some short gesture poses just to warm up at the end, which is a little backwards, but that's what we're doing, okay?
Thank you.
In the meantime, Dina, can I see what you're doing? I mean, or Margot?
I'm not ready to show mine. I'm doing some inking.
Okay, oh, that's fine. That's fine, good. Okay. I'm gonna leave this with you.
Oh, okay.
Since
done
it
that?
is
Okay, well,
yours, if you're not ready.
okay.
Good, good. Yeah, I'm pretty much, it's about 11. So I'm gonna talk to Carl for a few minutes and try to schedule, get some dates.
I can't hear Dina.
What?
I can't hear Dina Jurassic.
Oh.
Anyway, I gotta take this.
Okay, I'm gonna have lunch here. Thanks for the lunch. So that's free. I'm getting paid for lunch. And then,
Okay, you can look into the camera.
Thanks. Hi, guys. I was just talking about, can you hear me? Oh, I think Margot, Dina?
Yes, I
Alice?
can hear you.
No, did you ever hear of the contrapposto stance?
Yes, but I've forgotten what it was. It was in high school.
Oh, in high school. That's pretty good, actually. Yes. No, I was just pointing out that John is taking really a classic contrapposto stance because
Yes.
he's leaning on one hip, right? So that means his shoulders on that side will go down. So that's what we were talking about. And that, it has to do with diagonals again. Because, as I said, that's my middle name.
That's new.
To kind of see you this time. I haven't seen you in a while. So, well, particularly Dina. I'll see you. Hold on one second. Is it Tai Chi on Thursday?
Yeah, I'll hide you Thursday.
Oh, tomorrow is Thursday.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Okay, that's okay. Fine. Sorry, guys.
Wait, there's no,
Gee.
Dina, there's no
Yes.
classes listed for November on the website.
They'll be up today.
Oh, they'll be, Laura said they'll be up today.
There's
In fact,
a new calendaring system.
the chair yoga is wonderful. I really like her. Can't even, I think her name is Donna. Have you
Oh.
tried that?
No.
If you don't like getting up from the ground, and she has a very nice meditative way about it. It's really good. So.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So good to see you guys. I'm going to go look around at them. Okay. Thank you.
Is there an afternoon class today?
I don't think so. Next week, is it?
No,
Oh.
only one. Only one for today.
Okay, no problem. I was checking.
You can check in with them. Turn the camera. Oh, turn the camera. Is that you?
Yes, there I am. Bye, guys. Just saying goodbye. Thank you for coming. So good to see you again, okay? I'll see you somewhere.
Next week, Bill's teaching the class.
And you'll see, you'll see who's, Bill's going to be here next week too, and you know, he's fabulous, so that should be fun, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Dina.